Hey guys, so it's 6:26 right now. This is Arizona time, and um, today we're going to be watching PSUN, and we're going to take a look at line, LEI, and then dust as well. So the pre-market for these, so I have three different devices I'm using. I have my work phone, so this shows me, and then my personal phone. So this is where I execute the trades. This is where I keep up to date with the stocks that I'm watching, and then I have my laptop that I kind of can look at the charts while I trade. So LEI looks like there's a lot of high volume. So right now it's at open at 548. Probably going to shoot up to 705. So as you can see in the chart here, there's a big area. There's a big safety net at 527, but it looks like it just shot up. Um, so the next level of resistance from there would be at 573, which it passed. So it's at 695. So that's about, um, let's take a look. All right, so LEI area of resistance would be right here. Looks like it's gonna pass that and hit the sevens. So it's gonna be around here. Um, I'm guessing it's gonna top off somewhere like it did last week. So let's say we can go here. I think it's gonna end up stopping at 792, drop back down, and then there'll be an area of resistance right about right here. And I'll be messing around here just for a little bit, and then it's gonna topple back down. Another good one looks like it's gonna be line. Line right now is currently at 31 cents. It just has to pass its area of resistance of 32 cents, which I believe at open it's going to. And then from then on, I think it'll be messing around between the 32s and 34s and hopefully get over the second area of resistance, and then it's back. PSUN. We have 1 minute left till open, so let me do this one real quick. All right, need to hurry up. We just need to pass that 6 cent mark. Once we do, hopefully, oh, okay, looks like we're live. Shot up to 5 on PSUN itself. Line shot up to 32. LEI shot up to 705. Dust shot up to, oh, it stayed around 239. So hopefully PSUN can continue to grow. That's the one that I'm currently trading right now. One back down. Let's take a look. All right. All right. So right now, PSUN's currently at 495. I'm using Robinhood to trade live right now. Let's see who that one viewer is. And then we have, let's go ahead and take a look. again. So they Paxton released a brief yesterday about the restructuring of their agreement with their lender, Golden Gate. So that's their lending company they're going through, and overall, it seemed like pretty good news. I thought it would put them over that 5 cent mark, but it looks like it's still struggling to get over. Right now, it's currently at 0.0478. Um, Let me take a look. Line is currently at 32 right now. So 32.51. If we can get over 32, the next, which it just did, the next area of resistance would be around 34. So let's see if it holds over. Okay, Paxton's currently at 448. It's not very good. Paxton just continues to drop. Okay. All right. Well, I'm pretty sure it's Zach. So Zach's the one that's currently watching me trade live. Something I just wanted to show you for Paxton. Looks like there's pretty big area of resistance at that 0.045 and 0.044 mark. Um, so today, the big area of resistance to go over would be the 5.5 mark. Hopefully, get into the sixes. Um, Paxton just doesn't seem to want to get over. Okay. All right, Zach. So pretty much one of our Techbud guys, he bought in at 45. Looks like it's right now at point. So 0.042, 0.043. So I'm using this platform. It's on TD Ameritrade, and it lets you see live trading. You just download the app, you create the actual thing, and then you just kind of stay up to date, and then you can execute the trades on Robinhood. So Robinhood is the application that we use to execute the trades. So I just created a small watch list for today, just the ones I wanted to focus on. You can add as many as you want. So right now Robinhood's telling me UPL is up 7.8%. So if I wanted, I can go right there, quick quote, UPL, find it, and then yeah, pretty much just shows me. But again, it's that live platform, which is very helpful. You don't have to keep refreshing your account. Um, so I'll go ahead and I'll just add it to the watch list and go back to the watch list, and then it's all right there. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, guys. One that I'm gonna start sharing my screen. So let's go ahead and all right. So this is just something that I'm subscribed to, and it pretty much just, if you see, it gave us the watch list for today. So Monday, as you can see right here. And one of the top gainers, the one that we're checking out, was LEI, which was one of their top gainers here. It shows that their volume, um, and then I believe that's something that they focus on right there. Name of the company, and then again the symbol. Um, right now, it's currently at 693. Um, it opened at 660. It shot up to sevens, and then it went back down. So that was, that's pretty cool that they had that. It's a pretty good volume detector. Let's go ahead and check some of these out. Also, I do want to let you know for Zach that is trading PSUN right now. It looks like it's hitting back at that 45 mark, so we can go ahead and refresh it. So that's good. Hopefully, we can go ahead and get over. Um, but I'm in this live chat room. I guess they do it for free every Monday. You can pretty much just see. Let's just see people's trades right here. So this is a Momo scanner, so that's pretty cool. Don't know if we can have access to that without being on this webinar. Okay, so Zach, the one that currently did PSUN, looks like it's going back up. It's hopefully continues to rise. Right now, it's currently at 46 or 0.0465. But yeah, it's a big area of resistance. Kind of just shows that big drop that occurred today. Dropped down to like the 42s, which is pretty scary. The really good thing, just because it has such low volume, I mean, not such low volume, but such low price, even with just a 1 cent gain, let's say you invest $1,000 and you buy in at that 0.042, you own 23,000 shares. And let's say you go for a 1 cent gain, it's 5.2, which I already did. If you guys see up here, that was the high for the day. So with a 1 cent gain, that's still a $238 profit just by gaining 1 cent. Um, so for those that it dropped initially and then shot up and then dropped back down again, if you wrote that correctly, could have made that, you know, $238. It's simply just $1,000 of trading. Unfortunately, I mean, not unfortunately, but what I like to do is, even though I see the price that I'm currently trading um, is, let me, all right, even though the price that I'm currently trading at, so I have two different buy-ins, but you have to set up like priorities when you're trading in. One of them for me is I don't like trading more, at least not with my Robinhood app. I don't want to put more than $1,000 in. I have a different one, a different account for Ameritrade, and then a different one for Fidelity, and I have set limits. So even though if I think it's going to be a really good trade, you kind of just have to, you know, manage yourself and make sure that you don't trade more than what you initially told yourself, because then you're trading with emotion. And then that's when the mistakes start to happen. That's when you lose a little bit more money than you thought. I mean, there's always the potential to gain more money, but overall, you always just have to say, be better safe than sorry, and become a safer trader than more of a reckless trader, but it's really up to you what you feel comfortable trading. Um, but yeah, so right now it's at 0.048. Let's say about 500 shares divided by 0.045. So Zach, let's say you own 11,101 shares times the 0.0034 gain. You're still up $37 if you traded through Robinhood. So Robinhood's a really good application that pretty much doesn't charge commission. It has a little bit of regulations on how many times a week or within a 5-day period you can trade or you can day trade. At least when you become Robinhood Instant. So, but the really cool thing with that is like, let's say um, Zach were to just sell right now, he would get his money right away and be able to trade with that gain and doesn't have to wait that 3-day period or 3 to 5 day period sometimes for that cash to settle and then be able to trade it again. So let's say he makes $1,000 today and he initially had 500. He would have 1,500 to trade right after that trade, and he can do that about 3 times a day. So that's really good right now. Paxton looks like uh, it just hit the 5 cent mark and then it dropped back down to the 0.049. So Zach's doing pretty well. Um, he's been one that's been keeping up with like and learning different things about how to trade properly. So you guys want to see Paxton's on the very top. Let's see if I can see. Paxton's on the very top. If you can see right now, it's currently at 0.0485. I mean, honestly, when it comes down to how we're trading, it's always just good to see gains. And I'm at low. I'm at 3%. Let's see if I can get the charger over here. It's nice when the charger's unconnected. Give me 1 second. Start. Yeah, so right now we have a group meet for Techbud Solutions. And Zach just commented that he believes he bought at a perfect time for the rest of the day. So according to how the day looks, yes, it does look like it's a pretty good time. So I wish I could have bought at that time, but I already have my $1,000 that I feel comfortable trading with. And unfortunately, I bought in last week at 5 cents. So hopefully we can go a little bit over and then see what we can do from there. Um, let me go ahead and plug in my computer. I personally, all right, so Paxton right now is currently at 5 cents. So let's say, again, I don't know exactly how much Zach traded, and that's really none of my business. But let's say about $500 divided by a 0.005, 11,000 shares with a 0.005 gain. Right now, he's currently up $55. All right, well, it just dropped down to 0.048 cents. But yeah, that's really exciting. I think one of the main reasons that I love um, doing this whole tech bud thing so much is not just because we get to make money, like besides actually working on our real jobs, or just not real jobs, but uh, um, so yeah, he's messaging us right now saying that he bought 14,500 shares, 14,500 times a 0.005 gain. He's up $72, which on his day off within the first 21 minutes of trading, he made $72, So pretty much he's valued right now at essentially $144 per hour. So he's pretty much a doctor. Um, and it's just fun. I really enjoy seeing other people make successful trades. Um, right now, he's saying he's getting very emotional. Um, but we just want to promote a positive environment, help each other make more money. Um, and yeah, I mean, overall, just really excited about TechBuds. TechBuds has only been really out for a little under a week, and we've gained, a handful of traders, and some are really excited, some are just getting into it, some really don't know. So I feel like my job, I mean, I'm not a great trader. I obviously didn't buy in like Zach, so I was hoping that it would spike up over the weekend. They would release a really good newsletter, but it seems like it's just showing a lot of resistance at that 5 cent mark. I really hope that we can go over. I really do think so. So I set my alerts just in case I can't stay here for the remainder of the day while the market's open. So I set my alert when it passes the 55 cent mark, just because me selling at that mark, I would feel comfortable with the commission I would, or with the profit I would make there. And then I set an alert on if it decreases below 4 cents, because then I would just end up selling because I don't feel too comfortable losing that much money. I just feel like I could just sell and then buy in again. Um, the line looks like it's pretty steady, while LEI went from $7 all the way back down to 6.20. Looks like it's still 80 cents over because it opened um, around the 5.40, 5.50 mark. And then Dust is 35 cents down. UPL is still like 1.5 cents up. So and there's two viewers right now, so I know Zach is one. I don't know who the second one is. Second one might actually just be me because I'm watching that same thing. And I just want to watch it just so I can see, if there's someone commenting on the side. All right. But I mean, when it comes down to like right now, he's currently up a couple cents or a couple dollars. It's really not a matter of okay, he made. I mean, he did make that much money in the matter of minutes since the market opened. But you know, we we do dedicate a lot of time to reading, different newsletters or whatever comes out for the stock itself, just trying to keep up to date. So we're just still getting into it, and it's just cool seeing, um, you know, different people that you're trying to influence on. They're making money that they can use to do whatever they want to do. So that's always fun. And yeah, let's say he ends up, I feel like Paxton, it's at a good pace where it would close around 55 to 6 at 6 cents today. So hopefully we can get back on there, and then it can kind of just um, pretty much just determine how the rest of the week goes for Paxton itself. So I feel like there's going to continue to be positive news. There's a lot of bad news last week, which kept driving the price down. Um, but overall, now I think that we have a good chance of getting over that 5 cent mark and staying over. So hopefully that ends up going well. Um, yeah, so buying that with 42 or 1,400 shares. It's not bad. I mean, you can literally trade from anywhere. The really cool thing is that we plan on taking a trip. It's most likely going to be a cruise, something that can get us over to the Bahamas. And just like what Zach's making, that trip shouldn't cost us too much. And just based on us trading daily while we're over there, the trading itself should actually pay for the trip altogether. And then because we're traders, we get a write off, business expenses. And that trip would actually be considered a business expense because we are trading while traveling. So because we're traveling to trade, and that's the whole logic behind it. So that's going to be really exciting. Um, yeah. So if you guys want to join again, I'm gonna put the link for Techbud Solutions down on the description. Um, and then we'd love to have you guys come and help us grow even more and just help one another. And so what I'm gonna do for the meanwhile is I'm gonna be looking up some of the stocks they have here, just to verify that you know these are legit and they ended up they show positive action. So we're actually thinking on the group me. All right, so FHCO, as you see right here, if it opened at 149, that's not doing too well because right now it's currently at 138, so should have gap volume today. Female health. Yeah, that's definitely not what I'd trade. One that wasn't too bad. It gained 22% today. It's TB. Um, but yeah, so that one's currently up 22.88%, which is pretty well. Something I actually like trading a lot. And if you guys follow it, it's MOBQ. MOBQ is one of the first trades that I have done successfully. So right now that it's at 9 cents, I'm actually gonna buy in. You might ask, why am I gonna buy in? I know this stock and how it works pretty well, or have a couple cents already buying in at 8 cents. Just within that 1 month period, it shot up to like 15 cents. But it's also gone down to the lowest where I bought in at 8 cents. So just from 8 cents to 15 cents, that's almost doubling itself. So the amount that I have in there, I feel comfortable buying in again with the remainder. And then trying to see if I can ride it up. It's been doing that for quite a while. So if you see, This drops down, has its highs and its lows, and it's been staying more around the 12-cent period. I honestly would be okay with just a 2 to 3 cent gain, which would put me just around right here. Um, so if we want to do an advanced chart, just to get a better understanding where the resistance levels are at, looks like it's just been declining ever since. So let's do a 10-day and then a 30-minute just to understand it a little bit better. As you can see, this is a 10-day graph with a frequency of 30 minutes. You can see the volume is very low. Um, but yeah, resistance level would definitely be at that 8-cent market. At least I haven't seen it go below the 8 cent. It doesn't mean that it won't, but right now that's pretty much our safety net. The one I feel comfortable putting as the resistance level is it usually stays around 10 cents per share. And then the next area of resistance, I just like drawing it just to get a better understanding, would be around 11.5 to 12. So whatever, floats your boat, we can set that up there. So if I buy in, drops back down to the 8 cent mark, and then I can ride it back up. Let's say, let's just say I have $1,000 on MOBQ as well. So $1,000 bought in at 8 cents. And then we ride it for a 2 cent gain. Wait, that doesn't make sense. $1,000 divided by 0.08. There we go. Just with a 2 cent gain, I'd see $125 profit, which is pretty good. It's one that I trade pretty comfortably. I set my alerts while I trade just to see if it ends up going below the 8 cent mark. But as of what I've traded, I feel pretty comfortable with the stock overall. And actually, with a 2 cent gain, I'd see a $250 profit. It'd be 125 if it was a 1 cent gain. So that means just by going to 8 cents to 10 cents, which it does constantly, I can gain $250. Since the volume is so low, I would not sell all at once because I'd probably drive the price down, then have to ride it back up. So I'd do it in set limits of, just selling half of it at 10 cents, seeing what happens, seeing if the volume increases, and then sell the other half. So that's just the logic behind MOBQ. I'm pretty comfortable with this stock overall. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen so I can submit that trade because I don't know exactly what it shows while I submit the trade. So I'm going to click buy. And then this one's on Fidelity. So this is my biggest account overall. So I'm going to buy, it asks me how many shares. Well, I'm going to buy at a limit order, which means that I buy at a set price that I set and not the actual market value. And that set price is 0.8, which is 8 cents per share. So if I buy 8 cents, then my quantity Okay, so the bid price right now is on average of 0.816. Ask price is 10 cents. So we'll see how that holds up. But yeah, I'm buying at 8 cents overall. And yeah, let's submit that order. Okay, order was submitted. And now what I'm going to do is um, let's take a look. All right, MOBQ, I'm going to set alerts. Okay. So this is again safety net area of resistance, and then that second area of resistance. Once we pass that 10-cent mark, this becomes its new safety net, and then the area of resistance now goes up to here. Um, when I was first getting into trading, I bought with just the logic of whatever a newsletter that I received, and it ended up really not being too good. Just because I bought in at one of the highest marks it's ever hit before, um, which was just now looking back, I would never do that just because I was going off of someone else's word rather than me actually looking into the company. So the company itself is not a huge company. It's not one that I'd actually invest in if it came down to reading about how it's doing and stuff like that. It's more of a penny stock. I like to write it up and I like to write it down. I seem to know the stock pretty well. And unfortunately, back then, I'm still trying to make up the loss that I've made from then on. But I've been doing pretty well on doing so. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go here and then set an alert. So we're going to do a drops below and then rises above, and this is money value. So if it drops below 0.08, I know that I am not familiar with that, so I would put sell, right? But then if it rises above the 0.10, which is 10 cents, I'm just going to put watch because I have to be a little bit more aware of what I'm going to execute at that time. So, and then I wanted to send me an alert on Fidelity Mobile. We're going to complete the alert, and then there we go. All right, so we're back in this chat room. I'm looking at my biggest watch list, and this is on my different Ameritrade account. I'm trying to look for the top gainers. More that I actually tend to discover is top gainers don't always mean that that's going to bring you the most money by trading it. So let's say, you know, so look, like this seems to just be a day in itself because we're in a 2-day increment. So let's say we traded this and we go, and then let's say it opened here. Well, that's actually a really bad example, but let's say we're here. And then this is where it opened, but let's say it opened around here. It goes up and then it goes back down, and then it drops below the actual open price. Even though we're in the red, you see what happened here, and it gained all the way. So just because it's in the red throughout midday doesn't mean that it's not a good stock to trade. Obviously, it went from $7 all the way up to 7.18, ended up dropping back again. So what you can tell from here is that currently it's in this area of resistance, has a safety net about 527, and that can pretty much be determined just based on the history right here and then right here, and then all this not being able to drop below the 527. So the bulls are doing a really good job keeping it above that. But then there's a huge area of resistance at 537, which on LEI, I believe it did end up passing that. LEI is currently at 618, so it's right about here. When it opened, it hit an area of resistance about the $7 mark, which I already had set right here. It started dropping back down. Right now, it's currently at 617, which is right about here. And it looks like it's just repeating this overall. So went down, shot up around this area, and then dropped back down. So if we go ahead and refresh this, maybe we'll see a good. Let's go back to a 2-day increment. So I actually erased my. So we'll go ahead and draw it again. Again, the same area of resistance was all the way down here around 527. And then the first support line was around right here in the 160 mark. It passed that right at open, so it shot up. So there's a lot of volume um, at market open. So that was good. It shot up around to the 740 mark, which it hasn't hit in quite a while. So, can never predict that, but looks like it did pretty good. So we're going to set a new area of resistance, and you might see, why did it stop at 741? So if we go back 10 days or year to date, has it ever hit that high? Um, let's go ahead and draw it where it's at. So if it hit, as of what it hit today, 743, but then we go by increments of 60 minutes. Looks like it doesn't let me do that. But it looks like there was an area of resistance right here, so that's pretty much what determined this. It looks like it has hit over $8 within the past couple of days. But yeah, so that's actually year to date. So let's go back today. 741, the new area of resistance as of now would be around this area. So that's 616. So that's what it's staying at. It's around 628 right now. It actually just went back up, but then it drops back down to 616 and goes a little bit below, as you can see here. And then if it ends up dropping from there, we get a 2-day period. Passes this next area of resistance, or the safety net, would be around the 558 mark. So it'd be fluctuating around here. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen real quick as I go back into the Google Hangouts. Looks like Paxton is just dancing around that 48-cent mark. Honestly, the thing I like about Robinhood is that you have no commission. So let's say, like in Zach's case, he bought in at 45 cents. If he kind of just sees that, it's staying around and he wants to make a couple bucks, something that I like doing is, not sure what the actual term is, but he bought in at 45 cents. Every time he can set a limit to sell at 40 or at 5 cents overall with that 5-cent gain, which would bring him about $72. And it looks like it keeps dropping down to like 47 cents, 48. You can keep writing it down, writing it back up. But then again, with Robinhood, when you get into Robinhood Instant, you can do 5 of those trades a week. So he kind of just has to determine, does he feel like he's going to be doing that within the next couple of days? Yeah, for me, just based on how Paxton is doing right now, it doesn't look like the volume is there. It just doesn't look like it's wanting to go over that 5-cent mark, and it's already 45 minutes into the market. So I'm actually going to cut it a little bit short. It actually just hit 46.8 cents. So something I would do would be, all right, hit back to the 48.8. Would most likely sell at 5 cents and then let it hit, just 46 cents again, buy in, and then ride it back up. And then just try to keep making, that $72 to $50 mark profit. You end up overall making probably the most if you were to hold, unless it shoots up to 6 cents, which, you can never kind of predict. So that's what I would do personally. You don't have to pay for commission, so you don't have to worry about that. All you have to be worrying about is actually just that, how many trades you can make within the 5-day period. So let me know what you think about that, Zach. Currently at 46 cents, 46.8. MobiQ shot back up to the 10-cent mark. So right now, I bought in at 8 cents. I don't think that actually executed. No, so that one hasn't gone through just because the volume's so low. So I actually think I drive the price up, but hopefully it ends up dropping down. And I still have some money into it, so I'm pretty much still profiting in a sense, but don't like to consider that a profit since I haven't sold. And I don't know if there's actually someone that's going to buy. I can actually drive the price down because of how many shares I owned for MobiQ, and it's such a low volume. Yep. So Zach agreed he would definitely sell at 5 cents, and he's considering that to be the ceiling, which is the resistance level. Let's go ahead and take a look where it's at again. Yeah, currently at 48 cents. I really do think that it will hit that 5 cent mark again. So for Zach, the volume seems really high. So if you want to set a limit order to sell at 5 cents, just so it can execute partially if someone thinks that it's gonna go up. That's what I would do. It doesn't look like you'd really drive that price down with the amount of shares you own, but you never know. So I would sell there. I wish I bought in where you bought in, obviously because it's lower than what I currently own. Um, But yeah, just keep on writing it up and then see what happens. So let me see if there's any new newsletters for Pakistan. Especially now that we're learning, there's not always going to be like profit on what we're trading, especially when we're so new and we're not trading with huge accounts of like 10 to 15 and even $70,000. Um, So I do this more as a hobby. I don't like really playing games, and this is somewhat of a game to me, but I take it very seriously and I try to do my research. In the long run, I really think Paxton is going to end up picking up again. So it's just going through this rough patch. If we continue to buy it at its lows and ride it up, and then keep putting holding on to a couple shares that we buy that are really low, and we can ride it up. I really think we can get it back to um, 15, 20 cents, and end up making a lot more money there. I really don't think Paxton's going to go bankrupt with. It's just too big of a company. Doesn't mean that it won't, but just with all the attention it's been getting and um, Golden Gate itself on how it's trying to reconstruct the market, Paxton's a good enough company to kind of it looks. Ooh, it looks like its biggest mistake was just where. So it doesn't grow. It hasn't grown very well since 2010. Ever since then, I mean, just based with competition online and then with other retailers, it's just been going down. So it did see a 2/10 of an increase in sales, but I think like the marketing and all that stuff, it cost a lot more than it did in 2010, especially with their new collaboration for Kendall and Kylie. In the long run, I really think that it's gonna end up going up. And if we put some stocks or some shares aside and hold on to it again, where we feel comfortable, if we end up losing all that it doesn't really affect us. But then let's say we have $1,000 worth of that, and then it ends up shooting back up to 20 cents. We just made $3,000 with just holding within a 1 month period. So doesn't mean it will happen. Could totally just wipe out, but that's just what I think based on what I've read and what I know about the company and what I know about Golden Gate. Um, yeah, it looks like it's just fluctuating between that. So um, doesn't look like I'm doing a lot of trading today. MOBQ shot back up on my other phone. I could kind of see that. Yeah, just I set my alerts. I'm gonna pretty much. I want to get into the habit where I don't trade for more than an hour to 2 hours, and I can just set my limits and then enjoy the rest of my day. So today is actually not my day off. I work a little bit later on today, but just wanted to do a couple of things before I end up going. I want to get some more sleep because I haven't been doing very well with that. I have a lot of work with, Techbud's obviously just the research that we go into, and then with the dealership that I'm working with, and then just my job, and then keeping up with my homework, um, and something that I have planned with the GTR. Just juggling all that is a little bit harder than I thought, but yeah, I'm gonna keep my alerts. I'll keep on setting those and keeping up to this. I'll keep on checking it throughout the day. So the market closes at 1 p.m. Arizona time, and I believe currently because of daylight savings in California time as well. So I have my charts. I really want to follow up with this so we can do a lot of trading tomorrow, but it really comes down to Paxton. I mean, if it drops below 4 cents, I'm gonna sell. Don't want to lose too much, and then I have more money again to trade. Or I can go straight to if it I can even out and then just sell at 51 cents. I mean not 51 cents, but 0.05 cents per share. Then I'd definitely just go ahead and sell that, and then uh, be able to do a couple more trades throughout the week. So let's go ahead and check it out. Zach, if you have any last minute remarks you want to make, or message me on GroupMe so I can get to that. I can send you a link to this chart. I believe he's messaging me because the viewer went away. Um, but yeah, Paxton again is staying in that area of resistance. Uh, Currently, right now, at the 0.045 to that 5 cent mark. The lowest it's dropped today is 0.0425. So hopefully we can stay above that. Um, Line is still, kind of figured that that would go up. It's been doing that for the past couple of days. I actually have a really bad trade with Line, but I can kind of, see where it's going is it's with its partner Linco, and you can kind of just determine between how the stocks are doing, kind of influences the other one. So it's still at a 1 cent gain for the day, not much, but it's still doing something. LEI is still at a 65 cent gain. It's right now at that 613, 612 mark, which is its high area of resistance. Hopefully it shoots back up, but if it drops below that mark, then there's no, yeah, it shot back up to 620 right now. So there's no telling where it goes down after that. I mean, probably drop down to the next safety net. Dust is one that I had on my watch list. Looks like it's currently down 29 cents. So because it's down 29 cents, what I like to do is I like to prepare. So I'm going to continue to see where it ends up. So I'm going to follow up with that stock at the end of the day, see where it ended up at, and maybe just because it's so low and it hits that lowest area of resistance, that lowest safety net, it would be a good time to buy and then just ride it up for a couple cents. So currently at 228, and then UPL right now is at 41 cent. It's at a 2 cent gain. Um, and yeah, Paxton again just fluctuating between that 4.5 cents and then 5 cents overall. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully, someone can kind of uh, learn something from this video. If not, then I'll just take it down. But yeah, just really excited what we have to come. It's not always that we'll be making money, but it's just a learning process. And I feel like with just the individuals that we have in this group, we're going to end up doing pretty well. And it's just going to be a fun experience being able to travel with these guys and make some extra money on the side, and just motivating one another with like the actual things that we want to pursue. So we all have different majors, and we all have different hobbies that we really enjoy doing and that we'd love to do as a career, but currently enrolled in school full time, enrolled in work full time, and then trying to juggle, trading as well. So just really excited what we have to come. And yeah, so it's been about 1 hour of live trading. Haven't really done much with it myself, but at least we have Zach, who's showed some gains throughout the day. So I think he's going to be pretty well. It's most likely going to hit that 5 cent mark. I don't see why it shouldn't. It ends up fluctuating like this for the rest of the day. Um, so good luck to him. Hopefully he sends. He can set that limit order and then profit a little bit and then keep on riding it up. I'm just really tired. I didn't sleep very well, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some sleep, and then have work and a couple other things that I have to deal with in the next couple of hours. So thank you guys again. If you guys have any questions, I'm gonna go put the link down below for Techbud Solutions, and you can check us out on Facebook, and then we can add you to our group, which is just again a networking group. So thank you guys, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.